everybody. Do we have any audio for this? I think. Okay, I'm sorry. I lost the water here, and now I'm anyway, I got the pressure was making a lot of racket in the pipes. Anyway, hello everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's time for the noon edition of Welcome to My World. This has been kind of a skyrocketing day here, more or less. This is the first day of March, and it's the day after the first presidential address to Congress last night. And these markets have definitely responded. All four of the indices are just, I don't know, they're climbing and climbing and climbing. We'll see how far that's going to go. The bad news about today is the dollar's fallen off a little bit, but not super hard. Might just be taking a little break. The euro's starting to come back up again also. But there have been big moves that started, especially with the London Open. I think we may have had some people who were checking to see what was going on last night while the speech was going on to see if there was any response in the Asian markets. But boy, this morning, I mean, as soon as the London market opened, it responded very positively to this. So we'll see how long this all lasts, but this is an enormous move on the Dow. It looks like it might hit 21,100 in a minute or two. And it shows no sign of, absolutely no sign of letting off. I'm really surprised because this is a big deal for the Dow, and it did. It just hit 21,100. Looks like it's headed into the 1.5 deviation level, which is it just kind of makes you wonder where this is going to stop. I read a very interesting comment by Janet Yellen, and she's explaining why this market is taking off like this, and I thought it was just like, oh my goodness, do you think? She's in fact, I'll get it here for you. She says, I think market participants are likely anticipating shifts in fiscal policy that will stimulate growth and perhaps raise earnings. And I'm like, well, no kidding. I just, oh yeah, well, anyway, that might be it. Anyway, if the taxation does get put through, that would be a thing to watch in American politics to see if the Congress actually passes and he is able to sign into law the tax relief for corporate America, because the United States has the highest corporate tax rate on the planet Earth. And people are just now starting to catch on, yet, you know, that may not work out real well for them. But time will tell. Time will tell a lot of things. The other interesting thing is there was a big sell-off in bonds this morning and overnight also, and the yen just fell out of bed. The yen typically tracks pretty darn close to the U.S. 30-year bonds. So sometimes traders like to use one or the other of those as an indicator. They don't trade it, but they keep a little chart of, I don't know, daily or hourly or something that's not, you know, real tick by tick by tick, but just to keep an idea of how that the correlating market is trading. And I know that's very useful with the DAX, because there's definitely a correlation with how the DAX behaves at the London Open, to give you an idea of what's going to happen with the U.S. indices. They've all been really strong this morning, but the YM and the ES are the ones that just really, I mean, they are on a mission. I would kind of think going into the close, I mean, you have to wonder how high is high, but going into the close, there will be some profit taking on some of these contracts, because I don't think people are going to hold these for you know, a number of days, but at least when that happens, these are the kinds of trades. If any of you are interested in knowing a little bit more about how Daryl trades some of this stuff, there's a video on the forum about the MVP, using the MVP and the deviation levels. And he has a little set of rules laid out for using deviation levels for trailing stops on a day like this. And he uses a 10-minute chart with the MVP on it, and it's very interesting. You have to be enormously patient and have deep enough pockets to and the confidence to sit through some of that, but it's very, very specific. So if you're interested in that, it is in there. And let's see, we had inventory report this morning, which was a little kind of a non-plus here. The inventory was anticipated to be a little bit less. It came in at the same as it was last time, and the crude oil traders kind of said ho hum, and the bus driver is stuck on settlement, shows no sign he wants to get off of it one way or the other, and that might continue for a while. If it breaks the low of the day, it might go on down a while, but looks like that could be setting up. But keep in mind the one chop zone or swing low right here, there's another one just below it right here at the low of the day. So it's all very interesting anyway. And tomorrow we're going to have, let's see, now this afternoon, there's another member of the FOMAC that's going to speak this afternoon. There's a couple of them, in fact. And then Beige Book is this afternoon. It's usually not too big of a thing, but at 1 o'clock, depending on what this FOMAC, this is Mr. Kaplan is going to speak, and depending on what he says, I think everybody's paying a lot more attention to these people right now too, anticipating they meet mid-March, and there'll be announcements and all that stuff in our chat, but just be aware it's coming. So tomorrow we have early morning European numbers, and there's quite a few of them. One of the things that's kind of interesting, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, is the Italian unemployment rate, which is 12%. That might be a little underreported. But these kinds of things have an effect. If you trade the euro, these are things that you should be aware of in a general manner of what's going on in Europe, because it does affect that currency. Then at 8:30, we're going to have my favorite, the claimed unemployment. I think they're going to start making the unemployment claims a little closer to reality. So we'll see how much that changes. They've got it forecast for basically right at the previous one. But this would be, I believe this is January's unemployment claims. So then at 10:30, if you trade nat gas, that will be reported. Might come in kind of high this time, and that is also a seasonal. If you have an interest in trading those commodities on the Nadex, keep in mind that beans and corn and nat gas are much more seasonal than they have a seasonality to them. And while gold and crude oil are still considered commodities, they're not quite as prone to the seasonal changes that happen with the grains and with nat gas. On the Apex website for the news, also, there's always the notice of when those weekly farm reports are coming out. So that's always something. If those are markets that you have an interest in trading or learning about, it's a good resource. And then tomorrow evening, if you trade currencies, there's a lot of stuff coming from Japan, and those numbers coming right on top of the performance of the U.S. Index markets today might, and the yen just fell out of bed last night, and early this morning, starting to come back up a little bit now, but that might give you some volatility to trade. So, Jason, are you asking me about a link or somebody else? I'm not the best resource for links. But anyway, if you don't get an answer to your question, just put it back in there. And that goes for everybody. If you do not get your questions answered, it's not because, oh, it was the trades that Daryl does. Yeah, it's in the forum, and I would look under in strategies, and it would be MVP, I think, maybe deviation level. I'm not sure, but it's very, very interesting, and the rules are. I mean, he has an absolute set of rules with that. So if people who have a little bit deeper pockets and who are